Welcome to FaceTime, and today we'll be touching a bit about health, and namely a non-invasive and non-addictive pain relief therapy. And with us today we have two ladies, Miss Annette Van Gazel and Miss Muna Winder. We'll be talking mainly about packs, i.e. hot packs and cold packs. So perhaps ladies, you could tell us, before we even begin to talk about your company, Packs and More, perhaps you could give us a bit of a background on yourself and how did it all start? Tell us your story.
Well, I guess it really started because of personal needs. I had back problems and had to see a specialist for it, and I ended up having a massage therapy, and my massage therapist actually used these kind of packs and complained that he wasn't able to import them anymore and you couldn't get them in Malaysia, and I was lying on the massage table with a ping. So that's actually where it all started. And then took me to start with a few months to come up with an idea and the right kind of materials. And after a while, Annette and I we joined up, and and really it's
That's
taken
how
off from
Packs
there.
and More
Yes.
came about.
Yes.
Right. So so that basically inspired you from a self-injury.
Yes.
So there are different types of packs that you use. I understand, but mainly two most common ones are hot and cold. So there tends to be this common misconception as to when do you use a hot pack, when do you use a cold pack. Perhaps you could tell us more about that.
Well, a lot of it is personal. I mean,
Right.
it depends
Okay.
on how do you feel. You have to feel good when you do it. If you prefer cold, then that is probably the best thing for you, because if you don't feel good when you use the product, it's not a right thing for you to do. But usually you would say cold for inflammations and injuries, and warm for when you need to relax your muscles.
Right. Okay. And is there why? Okay. Before we talk about what we have at display here, why the name Packs and More?
Well, packs really because they are heat
Packs.
packs.
Right.
And
okay.
then we wanted to keep our door open to other ideas and future products. And
Right.
so we said, and more.
I mean, we started out with the heat packs as the sole product of our company in the beginning, and we sort of started venturing into the special needs products as well. So that's where the more comes in.
Right. So yes, I understand you not only have heat packs here, you also have weighted vests, lap pads, and blankets as well. And correct me if I'm wrong, socks as
Body
well.
sock.
Body
It's called
sock.
the body sock.
So perhaps if you could tell us, what do we have here? What's on display here right now?
Well, as you just pointed out,
Right.
we've got various sizes of our heat packs,
Right.
which you also pointed out you can use as cold therapy when just simply by putting it in the freezer, or
Okay.
microwave is ideal. If you don't have a microwave, you can also put it in the oven. But the heat that you get from a microwave is a much more moist and more
Right.
muscle relaxing heat, really.
Okay.
And then our whole other branch is really these special need products, and
Right.
they are specially designed for children with sensory integration issues. So these are children whose nervous system is immature, and these products help through pressure to relax the child and helps them maybe to focus better, maybe to sit still, depending on that specific child's need. So we have a vest which has been very successful
Right.
and with occupational therapists and hospitals, but also private people whose children are maybe just a little bit hyperactive and they just want them to calm down for reading time and these kind of things.
These are quite heavy though. What's inside?
Yes,
Tell us.
it's got pebbles inside.
Pebbles, right.
And they are served as a weight,
Okay.
because the weight is how it all works. It's all
Right.
about pressure and it's all about weight.
Right.
It's about connecting for the mind of the child to connect the weight to calm down the nervous system and then to relax. It's a little bit, I don't know about you, but when I go to bed, I have to cover myself up because I
Right.
need that weight of the blanket
Right.
for me to relax. So it's a
Is it
similar
more
idea.
about bringing the mind back to the present moment? Focusing on the body rather than just the running
You get
mind.
stimulated by the pressure.
Yeah.
You get stimulated
Yeah,
to
that's what
relax.
it's for. Right.
So in the minute that you come down, the processing disorders that you may have as a special needs child,
Right.
it calms it, and you are able to receive impulses from your brain or stimulants from your brain that this product helps create.
Right. And I also understand that you have, this is the weighted vest. Then you have lap pads as well.
Yeah, these are.
And what is that for?
These are for children who are probably a little bit more higher functioning and
Right.
maybe have ADHD or something like this and just need that little pressure on my lap. So usually these ones are put on the lap. You could put them around the shoulder as well. It depends a little bit on the child
Right.
and where you want to use it. But it's very useful at schools, for example. We've got quite a few international schools and other schools that use this in their learning support. So these are children who find it difficult to concentrate and just this weight, just let their mind relax a little bit so that they can then focus instead of trying to get impulses from some maybe jumping around or
I mean, yeah,
Yeah,
because the
think
thing
of-
is, you don't need to be diagnosed with having ADHD or
Right.
anything to be a little bit fidgety and a little bit jumpy in a classroom, and it can be very disruptive for the rest of the class. So by adding the lap pad, it calms the child down,
Right.
and it's functioning not just for the child in mention, but it works for the whole classroom
Right.
and the teacher.
Right, right. And okay, other than the lap pads, you also have a blanket. Oh, this
this is
a
a body
This is a
sock.
body
Yeah,
sock.
the
Yeah,
body
it's a
sock is
body
our
sock.
fun product.
Yeah, it's really interesting because I saw this picture here, and this little girl is literally in a sock.
Yes.
So it's I'm reading it off this pamphlet. Help children with sensory processing disorders and to help them work on their position in space skills.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
Perhaps you
sometimes
could
they don't
elaborate.
understand how their body works.
Right.
So for us, but we have no problems. You want to move your right arm out, you just do.
Right.
You don't think about it.
Right.
But for children who have some of these problems, it can be a big task. So when they're inside the body sock, now they can visually see what happens when they move their hand.
Right.
And that helps them create their awareness of space. If I move my right hand, this is where I am. Now they see this orange piece of material following them, whichever color it is in that matter, but it's creating the awareness of their own body.
Right.
And it's fun, and it's a good
It's a
exercise
muscle,
for
Yeah.
them.
yeah, for the
and
muscle as
just-
well.
yeah.
And you have it in all these bright colors. You have it in
Yeah.
red as well.
Because
Yeah.
it's a stimulant.
Right.
The
Unlike
other
the
colors
other.
are more suppressive in terms of relaxing, but
Right.
the orange one is, or the colorful ones, in this case it's orange,
Right.
is more for create activity, for stimulate.
Right. So basically, obviously it's Pax and More. These are the more.
Yes.
Perhaps you could tell us what inspired you to come up with this sort of products, namely for kids.
Well, really, our products are for the whole family. If
Right.
it comes to the to our weighted products, yes, this is more aimed at children because usually they're developing still, and so there's more that these products can do for them in
Right.
the long run.
Right.
Whereas if they're already adults, a lot of the neurological pathways are already formed, and you can't really form the brain much more.
Right.
So this is why this is probably more aimed at children, whereas our other products really are aimed at everybody.
It's ageless,
yes.
really.
Right.
It's very much, it's a feel-good product that anybody and everybody can use, from a baby with colic to the husband who has to work on the computer with neck and shoulder problems, to the mother with a
Breastfeeding mother,
breastfeeding
Right.
the auntie who is bedridden. It can really
or
be used
teenage
for
daughter with
period pains, yeah.
So everybody can benefit from our products.
But essentially, like you were saying, it's always best to tackle it from the root itself, i.e. from children,
yes,
right?
That's, when it comes to the weighted products, definitely.
Right.
Definitely.
And how has the reception been for your products, specifically here in Malaysia?
It's been great. I mean,
Yeah.
to be honest, it has been really, really great. And everywhere we go, we are well received. We have so far
Yeah.
not really been turned down because it's a new product in the Malaysian market, and people are a little bit skeptical when they look at it and they try it out, and that's it. Then
Right. So they just
continues.
hooked thereafter.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
I mean, for the heat packs especially, it's a very much comfort feeling. So there's 2 in 1. If you lift our products, they're actually quite heavy as well,
Yes. Yeah.
which
hence-
differentiates them from some other products
Right.
that are similar in terms of giving heat.
Right.
They're heavy, so it adds that little bit of extra comfort to you when you use it.
And I said you have not inside this vest. We have pebbles. You
Yeah.
also have wheat in your other vest.
Yeah, wheat and flaxseed, and we only use organic products.
Right. And how is that different from? Because I myself use ice packs and hot packs when I have an injury mainly.
Yes.
So how does that differentiate? How does Pax and More differentiate from other products out there in the market? And why organic material? Does it make a difference when you apply that heat or cold, and thereafter when it is on the body or specific organs on the body?
Well, I mean, for organic grains,
Right.
the whole cellular structure of the grain is different when you use organic compared to treated wheat.
Right.
Okay, its whole structure is sort of, it's got more layers. It's not chemically treated.
Right.
That means that it can retain the heat for much longer.
And the moist.
And the moist. And the moistness is what comes out of these products that you won't get from some of the more chemical aligned product line, where our products, when you use it first, you don't feel the heat instantly, you cannot burn yourself, and the heat and the moist will slowly penetrate your muscles, and you will really feel good and comfortable. Where there are some other products where the heat is instant, it burns your skin, and you get that. You're not helping your product.
Yes, that's
you're not
right.
helping your body because
Right.
you're tensing up somewhere else.
Right.
Where this is just that relaxing comfort. The material
Right.
is important.
Yeah.
The organic grains are important.
We are all about natural, and so for us,
Right.
100% cotton for our heat packs, and organic is number one, because we feel too that if something did happen, you know, you could have it could burn. If your child ate some of the grains, your dog ingested some, nothing will happen.
Right.
So, you know, that's unlike, let's say, gel or something.
Yeah,
where
like a 360 safety,
Yeah.
sort
And
of
it's
like a non-invasive therapy.
No electricity.
Yeah, no electricity as well. So perhaps you could tell us, where do you all source the materials for your Packs and More products?
Everything we do, we are doing it locally.
Right.
The
okay.
whole production line is done here.
Okay.
So it's
which
all
makes us flexible in terms of the weighted products, that we can really try to work with the people who need it to make sure that they get the product that will work best for their child.
Right.
And when it comes to our wheat products and flax products, it just means that we can interchange. If somebody has an allergy to one of the grains, we could
Right.
use a different grain. We can make it bigger, smaller. We can customize it, and you know, for us, that makes us flexible. So. So
I mean,
and we
we-
source, the wheat comes from Australia, the flax from Mongolia. So,
Right.
but as far as everything else goes, it's all from here.
I see. So do you use, is there specific grains that, you know, need to go into these
Certain.
packs, or do you use grains from, you know, any sort of grain?
No, we're
it is
specific
we
about
are
why we're
specific,
using
yeah.
certain ones for certain
Right.
products. We are using for our neck pack, for example.
Right.
We prefer to use flax
Right.
simply because the flax seed is a lighter material or grain. It has the omega oils, and it just gives a different heat, and it's a lighter feel on the shoulder. Whereas we use the organic wheat in our other packs, just because it's a more moist heat, and it feels better when you apply it, and it molds nicely too.
Right.
So we've made a conscious decision to use certain grains for certain areas.
Right. So since you use mostly like grains, and you say some of them are pebbles, these are mainly natural sourced
Yes.
ingredients.
Nothing is treated.
Right, nothing is treated.
Yeah.
So in terms of would you say perishableness, and you might want it to become a hot pack one day and a cold pack the next. What is the lifespan of your products?
Well, I mean, for the weighted products that you're holding the
Right.
vest now, it's forever. It's,
Right,
it's
because
up
it's
to your
obviously
own-
on pebbles.
Yeah.
There's
Right.
nothing edible inside
Right,
it, right?
right.
But if you refer to our heat packs, it depends on you how you look after it, because you have to
Right.
remember it is organic and it will attract certain elements.
Right.
So keep looking after it. As long as you're using it, you will not have a problem.
We
Right.
suggest actually that if you know, you usually buy them for a reason, because let's say you have back pain, and in that period of time you'll probably use it on a regular basis, but hopefully your back pain will actually go away at some point, and you might find that you only want to use it occasionally. We actually suggest the best place to store it would be a fridge or a freezer if you can.
Right.
And if you can't, that at least maybe once a month you freeze it for 3 days, because then you can be assured that nothing can survive. That's the best way
Right.
of
Yeah, preserving it.
preserving it, really.
Right.
But
And
I mean-
then you can have it for many years. I worked with a massage therapist who's been using these for many years, and he says, and he uses them 3, 4, 5 times a day, and he says you can use them for 6, 7 years, no problem.
Right,
And that's when you
okay.
use it every day.
Right. So perhaps if people were to be interested to get your products, where can they source it from?
Well, the best thing for the time being would be to contact us directly on our website.
Right.
And we will then
it's
uh,
www.packsandmore, PACKS, and the letter N, MORE.com.
Yes.
Right.
If you do that and just write with what's your interest of which specific product, we will then help guide you to the nearest location.
Right. So at the moment you are not available, Packs and More is not available online. It's just via direct contact
Yes.
with y'all.
Direct
Any plans?
contact with us
Yes.
or through the physios, doctors, chiropractors, and other institutions where we do sell.
You do have
We
tie-ups
do have,
with.
yes.
Right.
So
right.
if you tell us your location, we can guide you to it.
But
Right.
it is our next thing on the list to do that. We are looking into doing
Expanding out of the Klang
expanding
Valley.
it
Yeah.
and doing it on a
Online.
online service. So that's the
Right.
next big thing on our
Right,
agenda.
so then hopefully Packs and More will be available online pretty soon. So when it comes to this sort of non-invasive and non-addictive, this pain relief sort of therapies, compared to invasive medicine, what is your, perhaps your opinion on that?
I mean, I massage people, I give reflexology massages, and all these things are all about the holistic full body. And I think when it comes to invasive medicine, you need to be very selective about what exactly you're having done to yourself, because I think what we've all need to relearn is that we need to actually listen to our body. Our body is telling us things for a reason. You have a neck pain for a reason. You have a stomach ache for a reason. It might not be your stomach. It might be something else.
Right.
And I think these days we all like to go to see a doctor and come back with lots of medicine boxes and a whole regime of what to do when. But actually, how about looking at your lifestyle? How about looking at your nutrition and what's going on in your life, maybe emotionally as well? So I think you need to look at yourself as a full holistic body,
Yeah.
and I think at the end of the day you're responsible for your own health. You can't hand over to somebody else.
Well said, that's something that I very much live by as well. So it's more about listening to your
Yes.
body rather than just going to doctor and just getting, I don't know, like a Panadol and just popping it just then and
Don't
there.
hide it.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah. So
Address it.
perhaps you could tell us, what keeps you to be motivated when you do such sort of, I would say Packs and More is not only just serving, just medicine, non-invasive medicine. You also help people
Yes.
change lives.
Yes.
So perhaps you could tell us stories on what has inspired you to, just keep going.
I think the best thing for us is when we go to, we went to a hospital the other day,
Right.
and that was with our weighted products, and we hear the stories how a child who wasn't able to focus suddenly can focus, and we will leave that hospital and we do a little jump because it makes us happy.
Makes you
know?
feel good, that little thing that we have done, that product that is available around the world, different look no doubt,
Right.
that is impossible for Malaysian parents to get here,
Right.
that we are providing it, and it works on some of the children.
Right.
It makes you feel good that you've
Yeah.
done that
Yeah.
little bit for a child who's already facing so many difficulties,
Yeah.
and for the family itself, because it affects everybody.
Yeah. A very sense of fulfillment.
Yes,
Yes.
and when you
100%.
massage somebody too, and I would of course use the heat packs,
Right.
and to feel the difference because of the heat and the weight, how the person actually can let go of a lot of their stresses. And let's face it, a lot of our muscle issues are because of stress, especially when we look at neck, shoulder.
True, that
area.
contraction of the
Yeah.
muscle,
You know,
that
you feel somebody,
circulation of blood is
Yes.
stopped. Yeah.
and in
That's
that
true.
combination, when you then start massaging, the difference is amazing. I love
Right.
it.
You got to feel good about yourself.
Yes.
True, very
To look
true.
after yourself and to help look after people around you.
That's true.
If you're miserable and don't feel good, whether it's tensions or not, you can't help others.
That's something I very much agree by as well. So yeah, since we're talking, ladies, about holistic health and whatnot, it's really important to have that, would I say, that balance between the mind and the body.
Absolutely.
So
100%.
in that sense, how can Packs and More help the society in that sense? Or perhaps what is your advice to people out there into just having to instantly implement and perhaps gain a healthy mind and body?
I mean, we are offering alternative treatments,
Right.
Yeah.
or alternative opportunities, options for you to look after your body first. I mean, our advice is, generally speaking, try this first before you go the medical way.
Right.
Because sometimes it is not just the painkiller, there are
Right.
other problems underlying the real problem. So I think the main thing is that we are offering opportunities, options, alternatives.
And with often
you know?
these things, when we get people asking about our products, it's often not just the one thing. When you start actually talking to the people and you go, okay, so what exactly, you know, what kind of pack would you like? And they say, what would you advise? Well, then you actually go a little bit deeper because you need to actually start communicating with these people. And I think in that respect, we offer not just the product, but we actually offer a little bit more, a bit of support. Also, we find that we've had people coming to contact us about the products, and very often these weighted products, and quite often we've been asked, do you know a good speech therapist?
We sort of sometimes find ourselves being a little bit of the link in between the parents and the centers and the different occupational therapists with the different special abilities or special education.
Matchmakers in some
sort
ways.
of a little bit of a link.
Right. So ladies, perhaps you could tell us, because you're saying, you know, there's a link. Of course, in the medical world, you tie up with doctors, you tie up with physiotherapists, all sort of health practitioners. So is PAX and More, would you say, is it recognized firstly by the Malaysian Medical Association?
We are not offering medication.
Right.
So we follow slightly different under that category.
Right. Okay.
Because there's nothing, you're not taking anything.
Orally,
you're
right?
not doing
Ingesting
anything,
it,
and it's not like a brace that you'll be wearing.
Right.
This is up to you. It's just a feel-good product.
Right. It's more of like a support and aid, right? Rather than being, you know, taken orally like a medicine internally.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So perhaps you could tell us, you know, considering that you've been saying reception has been great for these sorts for all your products, which is your best-selling product actually, by the way?
Well, I'd say
it's slowly changing. I mean, the heat packs has definitely been the best one so far, but as the awareness is being created for the weighted products, there's a slight shift at the moment.
Right. And what is the most common sort of treatment that you'll give? I mean, people come, usually for me, what I think it's a misconception now, because I assumed that hot and cold packs treatment was initially just used to treat injuries, but after looking at PAX and More, it's actually much, much more than that. So in terms of that, other than children with, you know, perhaps, you know, nervous disorders and whatnot, what other injuries are the most common ones that you all treat?
I'd say the most common thing is
muscle strains.
Muscle
strains.
I mean, it depends with which age group you look at.
Right.
You know, I mean, we've at my children's school, for example, the nurse uses the heat packs for the common stomach ache because you know it's a really easy way to detect whether this child has something that needs to be looked into, or maybe it's just a bit of stress, comfort, so to say, or maybe indigestion of some sort. And so that one is like the easiest, quickest way for the children. But when you then move on to the next,
there's so many opportunities for using of the heat packs because you know, you have a cough and a cold, you put it on your chest, it releases everything, and you feel great.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, it's just heat and just cold that just
it can't harm you.
It's not, yes, exactly. It's just natural. It's not invasive, basically.
Yes, and that's what we love about it because we can't really harm anybody. So that makes us feel good.
Yes, thank you very much for joining us today, ladies of PAX and More. Right, that's all we have for you today on FaceTime. We'll take a short commercial break and we'll be right back on Capital Today with more news.